Hello, my name is Chris. I'm a business owner, business seller, and a business broker. Welcome to the Digital Merchant. This is your channel for digital marketing, online business, and growth strategies without all the noise. Today, we are going to be covering how to sell an affiliate marketing website. Let's see what we can find out. So, some of this information is going to be industry specific, and the other information will, quite frankly, be, it wouldn't matter what business you're involved in. So we're going to cover both of the spectrums. The starting point, it doesn't matter what business you're in. Traffic and cash flow, you got to prove it. Whether you have a affiliate marketing website or you've got any other business, you got to show where the money is. Show me the money. What are the priorities of a buyer? They want stability. They want, in this particular instance, commission diversification and clean operational systems. Now that, without a doubt, is every company should be clean operational systems. And that's usually through SOPs, standard operating procedures. The earlier you prepare, the better off you are. Why do I say that? Well, whether you sell or not, it's like you're sweeping all the dirt out of the off the floor. You're cleaning things up and you're getting it well run. Whether you sell or not, that's going to benefit you because you've got a strong running, clean company and even the financial, down to the financials. Like, you want to make sure that everything is operating on level 10 if you can. I know certain things you can't. I get it. But the sooner you clean things up, the operation it'll run so much smoother. Even if you don't sell, it's a win-win. So if you want to look at selling, there are two different paths, and it really comes down to what's the value of your company, your website. If it's below $100,000, $100,000 US, the DIY, do-it-yourself sale route is probably the best method. Now, it comes with a caveat. You still got to do a lot of work to sell it, but you won't have, generally the high commissions, or you're not paying for services that really aren't necessary. So if you've got, a website worth 25, maybe 50 grand, 75 even, probably the DIY route is going to be the most beneficial for you, because you don't need all of the extra support and those kind of things. And there are plenty of websites out there that can assist you in that regard. So, now if you're on the other side of the spectrum and you're above that, and maybe you've got 500,000 or maybe 1 million, whatever, that's where you start heading into the advisor route. What you're going to get for that is going to pay dividends exponentially. It's going to help you run your business, but it's also going to help you sell your business. You're hiring a professional. You want the best outcome, of course. Why wouldn't you? And they handle, just like it says right there, full guidance, accounting, legal, post-closing mitigation, migration. But more importantly, they handle negotiations. They handle due diligence for you. I mean, you have to get information to them, the advisor that is, but they handle it from start to finish. That way you keep working on your company, your website. It's well worth it. It's well worth it. How are these websites valued? Traffic defensibility is a big one. So do you have a broad organic footprint, or is it just a few little keystrokes that keep you being found? I mean, that's kind of like having, just a couple customers versus you've got, a lot of customers. I know it's kind of a metaphor, but and the same thing with program diversification. Do you have several partnerships or are you just beholden to like something like Amazon? And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to understand, if you only have one client and Amazon is your only client, then it's going to affect your multiples. Your sales may be great, but the buyer, is going to look at that and be like, well, without Amazon, there'd be no business. So, when you can spread it through multiple partnerships, I mean, you're better off doing that without a doubt. Domain authority and age. How's your history online? Does it look clean? Is it dialed in? Is everything there? That's kind of an industry that a lot of digital businesses deal with that. I get it. Again, the other one, operational friction. If you got to eat, sleep, breathe, do everything next to that computer to make that company operate, that's hard. And the new owner is going to step in, the new buyer is going to step in and be like, I basically bought a job. I'm glued to this laptop or whatever. So the more operational friction you can remove, the better. The better, trust me. All right, so financial cleanliness. Don't care what industry you're talking about. Right now, we're talking about affiliate marketing websites, but you gotta have clean books and records. You just do. If you want top dollar, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Get the books cleaned up, and it will help due diligence. It will help the sale, and it's gonna help the bottom line, your profit that you get after the sale. Traffic attribution, look into the Google Analytics and stuff like that. You've got to be able to show the traffic. It's like a paper trail. The buyer is going to want to see that paper trail. Content production SOPs, you've got to have, without a doubt, standard operating procedures. You've got to have editorials. All this stuff you have to have. And again, some of the stuff is industry specific for that niche. And if you can, it's not always that easy, but if you can, you got to have growth opportunities. Maybe you didn't choose to go that route, but here's an opportunity I could have taken, or here's a direction I could have gone. And that seller, would sit there and say, if I wanted to, if I had the energy, if I had the desire to, I would do this, and here's how I would do it. That helps. You're painting a picture of a direction that they could go if they choose to as well. A lot of times, founders and owners, they get tired. They're like, I'm over it. I'm over it. But if I weren't, and I was younger or had more energy type of thing, here's what I would do. So pass on your ideas. Pass on your ideas. That's going to help give that buyer maybe ideas, maybe a direction, maybe a boost of confidence that, hey, you know what? This guy or girl knows exactly what they're talking about. It's amazing. So here's some pitfalls. It's traffic concentration. It's like one large customer type of thing. If you've got to have multiple directions, okay, that your traffic is coming in through. You just do. TikTok one day can be great, and then it's terrible to work with. Meta changes this formula. Next thing you know, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. So you're preserving your business, and you're preserving, ideally, the sale of the business by having, multiple ways for your traffic. Sloppy bookkeeping. Well, there you go. Doesn't matter what business you're involved in. That is just part of the process. The dirtier and sloppier your books are, the tougher the sale, tougher due diligence is. And really, if your books are sloppy, then your business is sloppy, which means it's not performing at an optimal level. So why would you want that? Account non-transferability. That's a big one, especially with online businesses because they're so non-tangible. I mean, I've seen manufacturing companies where you've got these facilities and they're just lined with all this machinery and equipment and stuff you can see, touch, and feel and turn on. But the online business is very intangible. So you're transferring, agreements, you're transferring contracts, you're transferring, connections to how you make money. Vital, absolutely vital. Neglected maintenance. I mean, that goes, I don't care what business you're involved in, that just comes back to bite you. It just does, because if it's found in due diligence, it could be a deal breaker, depending on how neglected it is. So these are just things, tips to avoid or look out for on your way to selling. Preparation. What are we looking at? 1 to 4 weeks? I mean, it could be even more than that. Could be months, actually. Financial cleanup, add backs. Yep. And if you do it on your own, you'd have to create your own confidential information memorandum, or a broker would do it for you. But either way, you have to have that. You've got to have the information to pass on to the buyer. Listing and vetting. It's going live. You're signing NDAs, and you need to have if you go on your own, you need to have an ironclad NDA that's no magic. That's no silver bullet. It's no magic pill. I've seen people breach NDAs, and your only recourse is to spend money with an attorney going to court to try and sue them. Ugh, what a nightmare. So, and then you've got to qualify the buyers. Why do you want to do that? Well, you want to qualify them because you're going to be passing over highly confidential information about your business. And if you pass it on to a competitor or somebody who's working with the competitor, it's sneaky. It's not worth the risk. Be careful. You've got to screen and vet these buyers. And, the risk is you pass on vital confidential information and it gets to the wrong person. Just be careful. But that's one of the points of going with an advisor. They specialize in vetting and screening. Offers and due diligence. Well, before the offers, what do we got? Negotiations, So letter of intent, that's where you're negotiating. You're going back and forth, striking through things, send it over here, it's coming back. I don't like that. Cross through that, send it back. It goes back and forth. I've seen it go back and forth a dozen times sometimes. So, and then if you do get to do the due diligence, if you've accepted the offer. Oh, and I want to stress the fact, put in milestones in the LOI. Specific dates that have to be met. That if they breach that, it's your right to exit. But that keeps a short leash on the timeline. And just don't throw them, 90 days because you're off the market. You can't sell. Your company is literally locked up for 90 days under that agreement. And if you put in like the short leash approach, where you can sit there and say, okay, I want approval on the financials and acceptance by this date. I want approval on this by this date, and just put milestones in. Due diligence is if a deal dies, if a deal gets past negotiations and acceptance of an LOI, more often than not, it dies in due diligence. So be prepared for that. You may have to start all over again. I've seen it. Closing and handover. Well, there you go. I mean, you've passed the finish line, and you may have to do transitional support, depending on how complex your business model is. You may want to be open to assisting them with an onboarding, I'll call it, or a transfer process where, I'll give you 2 months free or whatever, so that they understand, depending on how, like I said, how complex, and you may not have much of an org chart either. So if you don't have much of an org chart and it's more of like a one-man band or maybe just a handful of people, you want to transfer that knowledge. So be willing to do some transitional support. I think that's very, very valuable. And I think it shows faith that you have in the business, and it shows faith, quite frankly, that you have in the buyer too. It's important. So that's kind of the snapshot of what you would be looking at from start to finish. If you reach that number 4, then you're off to the races. Again, you want a seamless handover. If you care about the business, you'll make sure that your ducks are in a row. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you clean things up and shore things up and make sure you've got agreements, with some of the contractors you work with, and maybe you have subbed out some of the work. You want, the more secure your business model is, the better the sale will go. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But because it's so intangible, it's so vital that you stay really focused on cleaning up the financials, but your contractual agreements with your, if you're with Amazon or whatever, that it's transferable. You want transferability and clean financials. And a lot of this information is vital to getting you the top dollar that you really, I would say, you would deserve. So we look at it like this. You can do it on your own, but remember, it's a second job. It's something else you're going to be responsible for. If you're above that threshold that we talked about earlier, I think it would be well worth, so Quiet Light. What I absolutely love about them is they deal only with digital businesses, only online businesses. So what I've never seen in all my years of brokering and just business in general, I've never seen a brokerage that every advisor on the team has a background. They either started an online business, bought one, or sold one, or all three. I've seen brokers who specialize, but not a full brokerage that specializes, So what you need right now is you need information, and you'll get that from them because that's what they specialize in. So you're talking to somebody who's going to tell you, and they'll look at your website and your operation, sit there and say, you know what? Hey, this is turnkey. This is ready to go. Fantastic. We can sell this thing tomorrow. Or, you know what? You need to probably clean this up and clean this up. But it's no pressure. It's confidential. They don't, force you to sign with them or anything like that. Everything is done and held professionally, and what you're going to leave with is information, and that's what you need right now. That's the most important thing. There's only so much searching you can do online. Don't hip shoot. Your business, your website is too important just to kind of hip shoot. Get out there and get the information. It's no pressure. You don't even have to, you don't have to go with them if you don't want to. But if you're serious about selling, you need the information. And I think if you talk with them, you'll get that information, which that makes me very, very happy. So I am your digital merchant, helping you actually trade effort for efficiency. Subscribe, stay digital. Thank you so much for watching.